Hello, hello, and welcome to today's mini class. I'm Dana Zivizak. I'm a travel agent educator, and I teach agents things I did in my business to grow their businesses. Okay, so welcome. Today we're going to talk about 3 mistakes to avoid when issuing quotes. So, first, let's get into, get the slides going over here. Awesome. All right, let's remember how the sales cycle works. All right. We market so that we can have leads. All right. And then we have to convert those leads into sales. Now, I just want to go ahead. I am going to share this video real quick. Copy link. Where is it going? It's going here. Awesome. Just give me one moment here while I put this in the group. Okay. There we go. Live now. Awesome. Okay. So now we can. So when the way that our business works is we market, we do social media posts, issue, we we do email, whatever we do to market our business. The point of that is to bring us leads. Okay. Then we have to qualify our leads to issue a quote. Okay. So when you have done all that hard work of marketing and you finally get a lead, a quote request, you can't wait to issue that quote. And I understand the excitement. It is so exciting when you get a quote request, especially if it's one of your first ones. However, and I still get this urge, we rush to get a quote out because we don't want to miss out on the opportunity. Here's the thing: rushing out a quote doesn't always yield the best outcome for this lead, because if you're just getting a quote request and sending them a quote, there is no qualifying happening. Okay. And even if they fill out a form, you cannot get a good solid quote without some more qualifying questions. So when you get a quote request, always respond right away. Okay, don't let it sit there. You want them to be sure, you want to be sure that they can that they get it. Okay? But you also want to be sure that you are giving them the best quote possible. All right? So when you first get a quote request, read it over, and then you want to think of some more questions to get to the heart of what the trip is going to be. And the best way to do that is over a phone call. And but most people don't want to schedule a phone call anymore because our schedules are super busy. So what I do when I get a new lead is I send out some information, and I send them a link to my quote request form, and I send them a link to my calendar. So if they fill out the quote request form and don't schedule on my calendar, then I know that we're going to be doing this over email. But if they schedule a call, that makes life so much easier because you can talk things out. However, it's not a perfect world, and sometimes things aren't easy. So if they fill out your quote request form, know that you still need to find things out about them, because you don't want your quote request form to be too long. That's another mistake, because then it keeps people from filling it out. All right. So you're going to have to ask them some questions over email to get into our second mistake, to get into knowing what they want for their trip. A lot of times we issue a quote before knowing what they want out of their trip. Is this a celebration trip? Um is this just a fun weekend away? Is it something that they're trying to, get all these things off of their bucket list? What is their expectation here? Okay? And we get that through qualifying. All right? Asking questions about, okay, so why are you going? What, and of course, you need the who, what, where, when, and why of the trip. But the why is very important, because that can bring in Hey, you're celebrating your anniversary. Does anybody else want to join you for the celebration? You could have gotten a group, you could have turned it into a group booking. Okay, maybe a vow renewal, like if they want to go to celebrate their 15th anniversary in Jamaica, and you're like, listen, would you want to do like a vow renewal and, retie the knot and maybe get a couple friends to come? You could have a good little booking there, but you have to ask about it and you have to understand what they're expecting. If you are, we'll keep with the Jamaica example. If like, so with sandals and beaches, they have all the different levels of service. You have the luxury level, you have the club concierge level, then you have the butler level. Now, if a person is envisioning their Caribbean vacation, how are they envisioning it? Are they envisioning it as they just want to go, they want to hang out at the bars, they want to go in the pool, they want to, or do they want to have breakfast on their balcony with a view of the ocean? Okay. This you need to know because then you know which room categories to suggest because Sandals has 16,000 different room categories, which is good because they're very descriptive and it will help you to know which one to recommend based on wanting to know what they want. Okay. It's hard to recommend a room category if you don't know what they want for their trip. Do they want an ocean view? Do they want a walkout room? Do they want a butler? Do they want, all these different things and they might not understand what a butler is. But then when they're there on the trip, see, you also have to get them to think of when they're on the trip and they're sitting at the pool and they want to get another drink, but the line at the bar is really long. But then the couple next to you, a butler just brings them, their drinks. It's like, oh, we wish we would have had a butler, and you wish they would have had a butler too, because then you would have had a bigger booking. Okay, they didn't know about it, so you have to explain the experience to them so that they know what to expect on their trip, and explain also the difference between a luxury room versus a club room versus a butler room. Okay, so that they get the idea that, okay, you're at the same resort, you have access to all the same activities, the same restaurants, all of that. But what level of service do you want? What view do you want? Okay, and they have to understand those levels of service because sometimes, they don't realize that a club room, if they want to have, like at a Sandals, if they want to have room service, they need at least a club level room. Okay, if they want 24-hour room service, then that's butler. But if they book a luxury room, they're not getting any room service. And they have to understand that isn't included. And we can't just assume that they know. We have to always assume they don't know what the specifics are of each area, each category, because when they're there, you want them to know that, yes, I picked this out. This is what you want them to be confident in their choices because when they're trying to pick a room, you might think, "Oh, yeah, but you know what? This isn't going just to some tournament where you have to stay at a Hilton Garden Inn and you just pick a room because, this is going to a resort that has views, that has different levels of service. This is more complicated, and you're the expert who knows how to make it simpler for them. But you have to know what they're expecting, and you also have to set expectations for them. This is a big part of qualifying. And the final mistake we make is giving too many choices. Okay. We get overwhelmed with choices. We get overwhelmed with choices. So you want to be able to narrow things down for them while you're qualifying during the qualifying process. So that way, when you're giving them the quote, you've got 1 to 3 options, 2 to 3 options for them. Okay. They should be almost there, with, what they want to see. Because by the time you get to the quote, you should have an idea of what category room they want, what level of service they want, that kind of thing. Now, if they want to compare, so then say they decide they want to compare butler rooms versus club rooms. Okay, you give them one butler room and one club room. Make sure when you're qualifying them that you are getting the view they want, the room type they want. Okay, this is all done during qualifying. Qualifying is a longer process, but it makes the quote get responded to much quicker because they've already invested. Now, and you might say, well, what if they don't answer my questions? If they don't answer your questions while you're qualifying them, like say you're going back and forth over email, are they going to respond to a quote? Okay, think about that. All right. So, in review, we make mistakes with quoting by one, going too fast. Okay. You have to first slow it down, get an idea of what they want on their trip. Number two, set those expectations. What do they want when they're there? They're coming to you because you're the expert. Okay. And you have to teach them about all of their different options. Then, once they've decided more or less what they want, then you issue the quote. So you do all this work leading up to the quote, then the quote gets answered much quicker. All right. Have a wonderful week. I hope that you are issuing quotes and getting responses, and let me know here which of these items are you going to work on? Are you going to work on slowing down your process? Are you going to work on limiting the choices, or are you going to work on getting more qualifying questions into your quotes? All right. Thanks so much for coming and have a great day. Bye-bye.